Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about the 3 ways to forecast in Microsoft Excel. As you all know, my name remains Akeem Abiodun, and today we are going to talk about forecasting in Microsoft Excel. There are different ways you can forecast. You can use scikit-learn to forecast, but in today's video, what we are going to be talking about is using Microsoft Excel to forecast. So what exactly is forecast? What is forecast? So a forecast is a prediction or estimation about the future events. So basically you just want to talk about the future event, trends or conditions based on available data, that is historical pattern or analysis. So basically you are using what has happened in the past to predict what will happen in the future. For instance, I give you about 10 years data set and I ask you to use it to predict the future. So forecasts are used across various domains to anticipate and plan for the future outcome. So it's just basically a prediction of the future based on what has happened in the past. So let's move forward to example of forecast. Different example of forecast, but these are just small. There are a lot of examples of forecast. So we can do weather forecast. So prediction about the future weather condition based on the atmospheric data and model. You can do that. Financial forecast. So estimation of future revenue, expenses or market trend for businesses or economy. So you can do financial forecast. You can do financial forecast. You can also do demand forecast. You can do demand forecast, sales forecast, population forecast. You can actually do that also. So let's talk about forecast techniques. That's type of forecast techniques. Basically, there are 2 major type of forecast techniques. So you can either use qualitative method. But qualitative method is actually not a good way of forecasting because you are only relying on expert opinions. So you are only using other people's opinion to predict. So you don't have any data, you don't have any information about what has happened in the past. You are just relying on other people's opinion. So that is qualitative method. Another one is quantitative method. So in today's video, we are going to use quantitative method. So using mathematical model and data. So basically you already have an historical data set that you want to use to predict what will happen in the future. So let's move forward to the next thing, which is actually the 3 ways of forecasting in Microsoft Excel. So we are going to talk about 3 ways. The very first one is using the formula method. So we are going to use formula called forecast.linear. So we are going to use a formula called forecast.linear. So there are a whole lot of forecasting formula in Microsoft Excel, but in today's video we will focus more on forecast.linear. Then after that, we are going to use a ribbon in Microsoft Excel called the forecast sheet. So we'll use that to also do our forecasting. And another one that we are going to use, we are going to forecast manually. We are going to forecast manually using 2 different formula, which is slope and intercept. So we are going to use the formula and there is an equation for forecast. So basically, whether you use Excel formula or you use forecast sheet, so this is what is going on in the background. So we are going to do it ourselves manually. So we are going to use the slope and also intercept. So let me load my Excel, then we kickstart our practical from there. So here I have a small data set, which is like a company data set. So you can see this company in 1997, this is their revenue. 1998 they have their revenue, right? So down to 2015. So now we have this data, and let's say they ask us to predict 2025 revenue for them. So that is what they ask us to predict. So we are going to start with the very first method, which is forecast.linear. so which is like the simplest method. Now, whenever you want to forecast, for those that have used scikit-learn before, you know we split our data into X and Y. Now, why do we split our data into X and Y? We have the features and we have the targets. So basically, the feature is what we use to predict the target. So is what we use to know the targets. So in 1997, this is their revenue. So this here is the feature and this is the target. So I'll call this, let me start a new row. I'll call this date my X, then I'll call this Y, because they are very, very important for us to know. So for instance, if they ask you if a mail is a spam or not a spam, so the question is, what are the features of a mail for you to categorize them as a spam? So what are the features? So you need to know the features of a mail for you to be able to say, okay, this is a spam. That is an example of a feature. We know the years, and now we have the revenue. So let's use forecast.linear. So forecast.linear now, we are going to just type in, whenever you want to type in any formula in Excel, you have to start with equals to. So that is basically you are telling Excel that, okay, Mr. Excel, I want to use a formula equals to forecast. So I'll choose forecast.linear. Now this depends on the version of Excel that you're using. So for me, I'm using Excel 365. So if you don't have all these other forecasts there, you can still use this normal forecast that you have right here. You can use this normal forecast that you have. But for me, I'm going to use forecast.linear. So click on forecast.linear, and now it's asking me for X. So my X now, this X is talking about which year do I want to forecast for. So basically I'm forecasting for 2025. So I want to predict 2025 revenue. I want to predict 2025 revenue. So I'll just choose 2025 right here. Now note, I did not type it in there. I just select the cell. So which makes it dynamic. I can just come here and change it that, okay, today I'm not doing 2025, I want to do 2027, I want to do 2030, I want to do 2050. So you can just be changing the year, right? Now it's asking us for known Y. Which one is our Y? If you check, I told you our Y is the target, which is the revenue. Our Y is the target, which is the revenue. So that's our Y. So it's asking known Y's. So I'll just choose this column that contains my Y. Then the next one is known X. And if you remember, I said our X is what? The features. Our X is the features. So it's asking us for the known features. So I'll just choose this as my X. So the years as my X. So simple as that. So I'll just close my bracket and press enter. And as you can see, it has predicted that, okay, by 2025, this company should be able to generate a revenue of over $16,000. Right? This company should be able to generate over $16,000. So that is using forecast.linear. So I've gotten that result. Let's use the next one, which is the forecast sheet. So I'll just copy and paste the same information right here, and I just want to compare the two to know maybe Excel knows what it's doing, so that we'll just know if it's going to give us the same result for 2025. If it's going to give us the same result for 2025 or not. So basically, if you go to the data tab, and after what if analysis, you have forecast sheet right here. You have forecast sheet. So this is the one we are going to use to forecast. So basically all you just have to do is highlight your column, just highlight the column, both the X and the Y, just highlight them. So I'm going to highlight this, both the X and the Y, and just click on forecast sheet. And now this is going to actually create a chart for you. This is a line chart, and as you can see, that's predicted, that's forecasted from 2015. You can see our data stopped at 2015. So 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. In which we actually did not say it. So what we just do is I want to reduce this to 2025. Okay, 2025. Let's stop here in 2025. And right here, if you notice something, we have the lower confidence bound and we also have the upper confidence bound, which I'm going to explain later in this video. Alright, let's come here. So you can see it says my forecast starts in 2015, which means the data actually stopped in 2015, so the forecast has to start from 2015. So it's going to take it up from 2015, 2016, 2017. Now the confidence level, the confidence interval, that is the confidence bound. How confident is Microsoft Excel? So basically I don't really change this, I leave it as 95%. So if you are very sure that you have a whole lot of confidence, you can just increase it to 100% and you have your confidence bound. So this is the upper confidence. Everything being equal, you are very sure that okay, you are going to sell more than this actual prediction. So you have the upper confidence and also you have the lower confidence. You have the lower confidence right here. So but what I'll just do is I'll reduce this back to 95%. I'll leave it 95%. So now if I'm dealing with seasonality, the data that deals with seasons, right? Here Excel is set to dictate it automatically, but actually you can change that here too. You can actually change that here. The next one is you have your timeline range. Your timeline range, so which serve as your X label, that is the features, and you have your value range, which serve as your target. Serve as your target. That's that. Then the next thing is your fill missing point. So for instance, if I have a missing data, right here, so what do we want Excel to do? So here you can see Excel use interpolation. So basically what interpolation means, that okay, Excel should just use its own intuition, like just think of what you have to do, just try to fix it up. That is what we are telling Excel, just try to fix it up. And you can even say you should put zeros there, just fill it with 0. But basically I always go with the default one. And if they are duplicates, so if they are duplicated values, so if I have 2000, 2000, 2000, like 3 duplicates right here, so what do we want it to do? So basically you can choose the aggregation here. We have the average, we have the count, we have the count A, we have the mig, max, you have the median, you have the mean, and you have the sum. So you can choose any of this. So basically once you're done, you can decide to change the chart. You can use a column chart, and this is basically our confidence level. This is our confidence level. This is the upper bound and the lower bound. So you can use a column chart or you use a line chart. So basically all I just have to do is click on create, and Excel will put my data on a new sheet in a table for me. A new sheet in a table for me. As you can see the chart right here. All I have to do is see here, this is the forecast, this is the actual forecast. And as you can see from 2015, you can see right here, it actually gave me a result, the same result for 2015. 2016, that's generating a bit lower, right? From 10,000 moving down to 8,000. Same thing with 2017, moving down. 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, down to 2025. And as you can see, based on what Excel has forecast, so let's check the very first sheet, and you can see right here, using forecast.linear, Excel predicted that by 2025 we are going to sell over $16,000, right? But if you use the forecast, the normal forecast, this one is giving us that we are going to sell over 23,000. That is just using forecast. And as you can see here, Excel is using forecast.ets, which is the exponential. That's what it is using. So that is using the forecast sheet in Microsoft Excel. But note that Excel will choose what it feels like, okay, this is actually the best. This is the best, right? This is the best for you. That's what Excel will choose. So basically, what we use here, we use forecast.linear. But here now, you can see Excel uses forecast.ets. Now, to the final one. So let's do it manually now. Let's do it manually. So using manually, we are going to use a small equation. And the equation is y, our y, is equals to m, which is the slope, x, which is just our normal x that we want to predict. So our normal x is 2025, right? What we want to predict is 2025 plus c, which is the intercept. So if you actually remember in your statistical school, right, you actually remember these formulas. So just if you go back to your notebook or something, you can actually check it. You see there. So, but let's just do it. So we are going to use the slope formula in Excel. So I'll just say equals to slope. This is going to give me the slope. Known y, this is our y here. This is our y. Then known x, this is our x, which is our feature. So with this should give us the slope. Now we have the slope. So this is the slope. This is the slope, and the next thing is to get the intercept. So to get the intercept, so I'll just say equals to intercept in Excel. So you should know Excel will have the formula. So known y, this is our y, just the same thing, there's nothing different. Known y, then known x. So here I'll just choose the x, known x, then close the brackets and press enter. Now we know our slope and we know our intercept. So we can now use this formula to get our prediction. Now let's get that. So y, so we want to get our y is going to be equals to our m, which is our slope. So m, right, which is our slope, plus the x. This is our x, which is 2025. That is what we want to get. X, multiply by x. It's multiplication. Multiply by x plus our c, which is the intercept. C right here, which is the intercept. I'll just press enter, and as you can see right here, Excel using linear, right? Using forecast of linear, you can see that we actually get the same thing. So this is just, let me remove the decimal point. Let me make it to two decimal points. As you can see, let's put the dollar sign, so we have the same thing. So as you can see, forecast.linear actually gave us the same result as us doing it manually, right? So those are the three ways we can forecast. Let's say the basic three ways we can forecast. There are still more advanced ways you can forecast in Microsoft Excel, in which I'm still going to be talking about in my subsequent video. So feel free to subscribe and like this video. You can share it with your friends. We'll see you in the next video. Take care and have a wonderful day ahead.